Ladies and gentlemen, digital investors, welcome back to another video. There is so much going on in the crypto space. There's so much volatility right now. There is a lot of money being made, and there is definitely a lot of money being lost, depending on which side of that spectrum you are on. Now, we have quite a bit of stuff to go over today, so we're going to hop into it. If you're a frequent viewer of the show and you want to show some support, make sure you tap the like button. It really does help a ton for the YouTube algorithm to pick this video up and show it to more people. Make sure you subscribe if you like daily cryptocurrency news content. The headlines for today are a lot different than yesterday. I was just talking about this with a friend, and yesterday, as I was pointing out to you guys on the video, everything was bearish. Nothing but bearish titles, bearish headlines. Bitcoin, back in a bear market is one of the articles we saw, and now today we are seeing pretty much nothing but bullish headlines. And I think you guys will see as we go through this video, it's a much different sentiment. And the market is trying to shake people in and out of the market by any means possible with news, with price action, right? Price is one of the biggest things that gets people FOMOing in or FOMOing out. It is like a massive psychological battle, but here's some data that can maybe actually help us. We have Bitcoin whales kept accumulating during Monday's crash. This is pretty interesting. So the number of Bitcoin whale entities, this would be clusters of crypto wallet addresses held by a single network participant holding at least 1,000 Bitcoin. Okay, so one person or one wallet in this case, because people could have multiple wallets, but one wallet holding 1,000 Bitcoin. So whale entities rose slightly to a new record high of 2,140 on Monday. The increase came even as the cryptocurrency's price collapsed by more than 20% to hit a low of $30,305. The dip demand suggests that large investors expect the pullback to be short-lived. The cryptocurrency has seen corrections of more than 20% during previous bull markets. Further, the latest bull market is backed by institutional money, compared to previous ones, which were more speculative frenzies. As such, occasional price drops are unlikely to scare away the whales, right? So, institutions like MicroStrategy, like Grayscale, they're less likely to be selling. They're more likely to be holding for the long term. So that's what they're pointing out here. And we have, again, those whale entities increasing. And we also have this underhyped ? Bitcoin sentiment lags despite bull run. And basically what this goes over, despite how bullish the market is and how much Bitcoin has gone up, we have still not reached sentiment levels of 2017/2018. So basically one thing that they do is they take a metric of people who are tweeting about Bitcoin, and the tweet volume about Bitcoin is just, they call it the hype to activity ratio, as you can see here. It's just not as high as it was in 2017. And then they again point out, kind of like how we just read back here, they point out that that could be because of the fact that this bull run is not so much driven by the small retail investor like in 2017. Back in 2017, it was basically all retail speculation, whereas this time we know we have institutions coming in, and this entire bull run that we have seen, this parabolic bull run, especially for Bitcoin, that it has been on, could be backed mainly by the institutions, and that's why we are not seeing that same type of Twitter volume like we did in 2017, because retail is still not here in mass, and that does make sense. So as you guys can see, we're only 2 titles in, but everything is much more bullish today. They also have this, is Bitcoin regains lost ground. Option traders bet on a 52K move by late January. So we have a lot of traders betting on Bitcoin to get between 52K, and I think the article goes as high as 60 or 64K, which would be our next leg up if Bitcoin does manage to get a foothold here and break bullish. Our next moves are going to be to that 50K, 60K region. And obviously if we break bearish out of here, we'll just have to take it support by support and see where we end up. Bitcoin will be analogous to Amazon. Mark Cuban compares crypto to the .com bubble. So I thought this was interesting. This was in a series of tweets, so we'll go right to Mark Cuban's Twitter. He says, watching the cryptos trade, it's exactly like the internet stock bubble. Exactly. I think Bitcoin, Ethereum, a few others will be analogous to those that were built during the dot-com era, survived the bubble bursting and thrived like Amazon, eBay, and Priceline, but many won't. Along the way, many fortunes will be made and lost, and we find out who has the stomach to hold and who doesn't. My advice, learn how to hedge. As during the dot-com bubble, the experts try to justify whatever the pricing of the day is. Crypto, much like gold, is supply and demand driven. All the narratives about debasement, fiat, etc. are just sales pitches. The biggest sales pitch is scarcity versus demand, and that's it. Now, I take what Mark Cuban says in regards to cryptocurrency with a grain of salt, because he's another one. He's been extremely flip-floppy. I don't take anything the sharks say, even, say Mark Cuban, Kevin O'Leary as well. He's been so flip-floppy on the space. I would take things that these people say with a grain of salt. And then we have Jeff Garzik here. For those of you guys who don't know who Jeff Garzik is, he was one of the early people working on Bitcoin, has email exchanges between himself and Satoshi Nakamoto. So one of the very early devs, and he's now also, I think it's the co-founder of Space Chain, and he says look at a long-term chart, not a short-term chart. And that's another thing to keep in mind, right? When we see people make statements, and this goes for anybody, you don't know exactly what they're looking at, right? You could be looking at a weekly chart or a monthly chart. You could be doing a 10-year investment, and somebody else is giving their perspective, and they're only looking at it from, say, a shorter time frame, maybe a 1-day chart, a 4-hour chart. And rather than you looking at it at a 10-year investment, maybe they're looking at it as a swing trade, or as a 6-month hold, a 1-year investment. So everything is very relative to you in your situation. I think that's why Jeff Garzik is saying look at the long-term chart, not a short-term chart, because if you do look at the long-term chart and you also take into account the state of the world, there's a great case to be made for cryptocurrencies. Looking at a short-term chart right now, yes, Bitcoin does look very overextended. It definitely does look like a bubble that could pop, right? Obviously, we could go up to 52K, 60K, but at some point, guys, we are going to have to let the air out of this, maybe do a reaccumulation, and then go from there. And that would be a very healthy scenario. The unhealthy scenario would be to continue shooting up to $100,000, $200,000 in a straight line, because the crash after that type of move would be absolutely devastating and would shake out many weak hands. We're talking like 95-96% of people would probably be very much so shaken out, and that's your average retail investor who is going to have the most to lose and is going to be probably ignorant enough to actually sell the bottom, because institutions aren't going to be selling the bottom, and they're definitely not going to be buying tops. Now, we also have this for Cardano. Hoskinson announces Mary hard fork for February. Cardano's Mary hard fork is expected to be implemented in February of this year. Hoskinson announced tentatively the deployment of Mary for February of 2021. The hard fork will be Cardano's second Goguen-related hard fork after the Allegra hard fork combinator. The upgrade added multi-token functions, while Mary will allow the creation of native assets on Cardano and will add the infrastructure for the extended UTXO model. Cardano's new capabilities have been designed to make the platform an interoperable network for building DeFi. The components that will allow this to be achieved are part of Cardano's Goguen era. Hoskinson added, we are working on our go-to market strategy for the first half of this year for smart contracts. There are a lot of cool things coming out on the way, a lot of business deals. People want to come to Cardano. They are begging us. This is just the beginning. So we have that coming out for Cardano. You guys know how I feel about Cardano. I'm super bullish on the project. Price action has been absolutely amazing, right? Everyone's getting great ROI. Obviously, depending on when you bought in, if you were buying in Cardano at 2 cents, 4 cents, even 10 cents, 16 cents, you have made a pretty good ROI off Cardano. Assuming we hold this bull market structure and Cardano continues to go up, staircasing up, I think it's going to continue to deliver really good ROI. And, that's not even really utility kicking in yet, right? Most of what we're seeing right now is still like 99% of it is still speculation. So we're not even seeing anything close to a utility volatility drive. Our prices for today, we have Bitcoin at $34,355, Ethereum's at $1,078, XRP 29 cents, Cardano 28.9 cents, Stellar 28 cents, Chainlink at $14, Theta at $1.87, Tezos at $2.35, vechain at 2.2. So it looks like the market is trying to recover a little bit from yesterday's blood. Let me know in the comments, did you guys buy the blood yesterday? Did you buy the dip? Or are you just going to sit this one out and let Bitcoin decide what it is going to do? Your fear and greed index, we did drop out of the 90s. We are still in extreme greed, but we are at 84. We were in the 90s for so long, as you can see yesterday, last week, and last month, all in the 90s. Make sure if you're enjoying the video, you do subscribe to the channel, as you do get a video like this daily. And now we have UK Treasury says XRP is exchange token and not a security. So as you guys know, SEC is suing Ripple, and one of the things they're alleging is that XRP is a security. So this is pretty interesting. The United Kingdom government appears to be cementing its position that XRP is an exchange token and not a security. A new document outlining the UK's regulatory approach to cryptocurrencies and stablecoin says that the report classifies XRP, Ether, and Bitcoin as tokens that are primarily used as a means of exchange. So-called exchange tokens fall under an unregulated category that means they are neither e-money nor security tokens. The Treasury explains, security tokens have characteristics akin to specified investments like a share or a debt instrument, as set out in UK legislation. Broadly, these are likely to be tokenized digital forms of traditional securities. Ripple has previously highlighted the UK FCA classification amid its calls for regulatory clarity from the US. They say countries that take the lead on these frameworks will be better positioned to attract capital, companies, and jobs, particularly since blockchain tech is here to stay. Regions that have unclear guidelines should establish their own frameworks to remain competitive and avoid losing companies to better regulated markets. So interesting stuff. Seems like the UK has their stuff in order. Seems like the only people that are really confused as to what XRP is just the SEC. So we'll see what happens. I mean, obviously either the SEC knows something that the rest of the world just does not know, because everywhere else the XRP is not a security. So, you know, either SEC just knows something that nobody else knows, or they're wrong. When you have places like the UK, even Japan, who see XRP as not a security, they see it as, here we're seeing an exchange token or as a currency, it really just makes you wonder what it is that the SEC is talking about. You also have PayPal. Their trading volumes skyrocket amid Bitcoin's massive volatility. The trading volumes on PayPal have skyrocketed to a new all-time high yesterday, shattering the previous record. Having also in mind the growing Google searches for Bitcoin, Ether, and other digital assets, the question remains if retail investors have finally arrived. From booze to Bitcoin, New York bar owner set to sell business for cryptocurrency. Now, I thought this was interesting because this is exactly the type of thing that you will see when Bitcoin is getting just very parabolic, right? Ready to make a blow off top. You will see extremely crazy things like this. Now, yeah, this is happening and Bitcoin's not at $100,000 yet. So even if we correct it from here, right? Let's say this person sold their bar, longed Bitcoin at, you know, say 35,000, and, you know, we had some crazy correction. Bitcoin, you know, retraces 50, 60%. Long term, they're still good, but you will have people who do something like this, sell their house, you know, do crazy things to acquire Bitcoin at the literal top. So this is a little concerning to see, but at the same time, if you do look at the long-term Bitcoin chart, it is safe to say that we can probably expect more than just topping out at 44,000 in the long term, right? Into 2021, into 2022, at 40,000 is probably not going to be our, you know, our blow off top. We're probably going much higher, but this is the type of behavior that you will see when we are topping the market. So if it's already starting, I can only imagine what is going to happen in 6 months from now, a year from now. Now, Bitcoin frenzy, Coinbase surpassing 9 billion in daily volume shows a big demand. 9 billion in daily volume, guys, on Coinbase alone. That certainly does sound like some large demand. So as you can see, guys, news compared to yesterday, this is a much more bullish day. Yesterday was a very bearish day. So we'll see what's going on. We'll see how they are trying to play us here, whether or not Bitcoin goes up or down. You know, it's a really uncertain time right now. And this is really a prime example of why you buy blood and buy cheap, right? If you were buying Bitcoin at 6,000, 8,000, 10,000, 12,000, you really don't have to worry about a retracement once Bitcoin hits $40,000. Of course, there are some people that are new here, you know, so you maybe didn't even hear about Bitcoin at that time. That's why it's very important. Say you're someone who has longed Bitcoin at 35,000, 40,000, and you see it start to come down. Look into a DCA strategy. If you believe in Bitcoin and you want to invest into it or any of these cryptocurrencies, then a DCA strategy where you're accumulating a long position over a long period of time, rather than going all in without any prior investing experience, is going to be the safest strategy for you. So if you did just get into this space and you do see it start to correct, stick around. It's okay. We're still going up long term. There's still a lot more upside to be seen. 2021 has just started, and we know it's going to be a great year for crypto. 2021/22 are going to be great years for crypto. And with that said, I'm going to end the video on that note. If you guys enjoyed it, make sure you tap the like button. Also, make sure you subscribe and hit the bell so you're notified every single day when I upload. You get a video like this daily going over Bitcoin, altcoins, and everything going on in the crypto space. Keep in mind, it's not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just documenting this crypto bull run in the daily crypto news, and I will see you all on the next video. Have a great day, everybody.